So we are okay with the CSS. Yeah, anybody can talk.
We still have a long way to go in CSS. You can't master it in just a week now. Is it possible?
Yeah, it's a gradual process actually. Yeah, there are some things that you just learn along the journey. But then no big deal. Let me see our workshop on Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday. Okay, so what we'll do is 2 hours. We'll use 1 hour to like design something HTML and CSS. Then we'll use the second hour for the JavaScript workshop. Yeah. So no big deal. We'll do a little touch up on it. Are we all okay with that?
Okay, Peter, because I think we actually rushed.
Oh, okay.
For the CSS.
No big deal. Yeah, okay. We'll touch 1 or 2 things on it. So what we can do is if you have any question, drop it on the Slack, or probably you can just keep it. Then on Thursday we'll do 1 or 2 things about it. So without wasting much time, let's start with JavaScript. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll be talking about JavaScript. Yeah, like what we've seen in HTML and CSS are just very. This is where the big deal is, JavaScript. So I think for the next 3 weeks now, we'll be talking mainly on JavaScript and everything it has to. If you guys have gone through the the resources that was shared earlier, there's this introduction to JavaScript. I hope you guys have gone through it. They are just history, how JavaScript started, the naming started from LiveScript to ECMAScript, yeah, then to JavaScript, blah. The engines that works in browser. So if you really want to know more about it, because of time, I won't really want to go through it, but they are just write-ups. You can just like go through it. Yeah, it's part of the resources I shared, so you can just read a little bit about JavaScript. So for this week, we'll be talking about concatenation, arrays, nested arrays, then array method. So between today and tomorrow, this is basically what we are going to be discussing. So yeah, so if you really want to read more about the introduction to JavaScript, you can take the other link as a reference. There's a lot about JavaScript you can read about. Yeah. So the next one is pseudo coding. So basically, sorry, please. Oh, give it to Farouk. Yeah. All right, on Thursday. Yeah. So pseudo coding. What pseudo coding basically means is when you have something to code, yeah, there is a way you can just write it in plain English. Take for instance now, if I'm given an assignment to, let's say, design a button, yeah. So and the person that said I should design the button said I should make the button a background of red, yeah. So I can just write it in plain English. What if I just use button tag here, open and close, then put the word submit inside, then I can use CSS to give it a red background. So basically that's what pseudo coding means, trying to like write your code, what you want to achieve with the coding in plain English. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Okay. So in plain English. So with that, when you are going from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, you can like understand what you are trying to do. Yeah. Okay. Take for instance now, I want to design an API that let's say that will take people's credit card. After taking the digit of the credit card, I make another API call again to the person's bank, then check if the person has money inside the account. So the money inside the account is up to the amount of money the person wants to pay. Yeah, so you write it step by step. Okay, I collect the person's digits, make this API call, make this API call. So when you, by the time you analyze all that, by the time you started coding, it makes your work easier for you. Then secondly, the kind of data you are working with. Take for instance now, you have a class. Take for instance now, you have to teach couple of students. You have, let's say, the nursery class and the primary class and the secondary class. If you know the kind of people you want to teach, yeah, like you know that okay, those these my students in nursery class are probably from age 3 to, let's say, 5. Yeah, so these are your students. You know them, you know what they can do, you know what they cannot do. So you knowing your students will kind of like know how to deal with them. Yeah, so you don't want to deal with kindergarten students the way you want to do with primary school students or maybe secondary school students. Yeah, so if you know the kind of data you are working with, yeah, let's assume you are working with, okay, a string now. Yeah, so you don't have to like confine yourself to maybe a Boolean on an undefined or a null. So if you know the kind of data you are working with, it makes your work easier for you. Yeah. So the next one is we'll discuss comments, data types, variable, naming convention, arithmetic in JavaScript. Then after that, we'll talk about concatenation, array, nested array, and array methods. Yeah. So let's get started. So the first thing we are talking about is kind of data we'll be working with. So let me start from, so we can bring up our, okay, so yeah, I already have my VS Code here from the last folder we created the other time. So if you're having difficulty doing that, you can just create a folder on your, by now you shouldn't be having difficulty doing that. Actually, you should be able to just create it because you've coded HTML and you've coded CSS, but then you can just create it on your desktop here, then open it. Then you can always open with VS Code. So I've opened mine here. Yeah. So we, let me see. Okay, let me launch. Let's use index.html. Let me go live. So now, after opening this, you can inspect. So our JavaScript that will be running, we'll be seeing everything we are writing on the console. So if you want to go to locate this console, click on inspect. When you click on inspect, you'll see elements, console, resources, and network. We'll discuss about network later, what it does. But for now, we are going to be dealing with the console. So every JavaScript that we write now, there is a way we can console log something. Then we are going to see everything here. But before then, you have to link your JavaScript file with your HTML file. I know Isaac talked about how to link CSS file. So if you want to link CSS file, you use the word link. Yeah. CSS file. Yeah. So any name you give it, yeah, I have web3, web2 ladies.css, web2 ladies.css. So, but then for JavaScript, for JavaScript, you use the word script. Yeah. So you use the word script, and the source now will now be the file you want to locate. So in this our own case now is polygon.js. Polygon.js. So then it's also, you can use JavaScript in a page in two ways. Yeah, you can either import it or
Please come
write
again.
yeah, if you want
Please come again.
to, okay, yeah, if you want to import your JavaScript file into your HTML file, you use the word script. You use script tag. Yeah. Then you give it a source. So the SRC, which means source, the location of the JavaScript. Yeah, so now the location now is, since they are inside the same folder, I can just type polygon, polygon.js. But assuming I have inside this phone folder now, assuming I have another file inside that is index.jx. Yeah. So now for this one, now, if I want to link this index.js now, it will not be the same way. Script. So I will have to like this I have to like enter this what was it called? The phone folder to have access to this what was it called? The index.js. Yeah. So now I can just do dot slash, then I have access to the phone folder, then slash, you can see the index.js is there. Yeah. So I'm sorry if the energy is not super hyper today. I'm a little bit feeling down, but I'm fine now. So let's just be going gradually like this. I hope tomorrow the energy will be more than this. So this is how we import CSS JavaScript file into our HTML. But also we can also decide that okay, we don't want to import any file. We just want to write our JavaScript directly inside our HTML. So any JavaScript code that I write here now will also take effect on this page. So let me test it one after the other. This is Polygon. Let me say console.log Polygon. Yeah, I save this. Let me go to index.console.log from index. This is from index. And the last one is just put console here. .log from HTML page. So if I should save this now, I should see the three. So I have an error at index line 12. Okay. So all I need to do is just to refresh. So now I imported three scripts tags. That's two documents from another page, then one inside the HTML. So now you can see here now from the polygon, I have polygon, then the second one is from index, then the third one is from the HTML page. So either ways that you want to like import your JavaScript file, yeah, all is going to work. And the last part also, you can take this script tag now, take it to the bottom page and take it to the bottom page. It's still going to work from bottom page. If I should save now, it's still going to work. So we can see the console.log here, the last one. So yeah, that's basically how you want to import your JavaScript file into your HTML file, and anything you want to do, it's going to take effect. So now you might want to ask that what's the difference between putting HTML, putting the script tag at the top or at the bottom? Yeah, so we understand that code runs one after the other from top to bottom. Yeah. So there are sometimes that if you want to load HTML tag, plus CS, that's why it's advisable to always put your CSS file at the top and put your script tag at the bottom. The reason will be when the page is about to load, it's going to first load the CSS, yeah, then load the HTML, yeah, so that you can just see that, okay, everything is in order. Then it's going to load the JavaScript last. The reason do be the functionality of the page depends on the JavaScript, yeah, but the beauty of the page, that the skeletal and the beauty of the CSS of the page depends on the HTML and the CSS. So you want those tools to load first before the JavaScript, which is for the functionality. So most of the time, it's better to put your script tag at the bottom of the page. But then either way, if you put it at the top, it's going to work also, and if it's at the bottom, it's also going to work. So that's about how to import your script tag into your HTML file. So the next thing we'll be talking about is, okay, the kind of data. So let's start with comments. I will
Sorry,
just
Malik, I have a question before you go on.
okay.
All right. You in this code you've written now, you referenced the JavaScript file in
Yes.
3 different or 4 different places. Does
Yes.
that mean that in JavaScript you can reference more than one file and it will work with any one of them?
Yes.
Or
Even in CSS, you can reference more than one file. It depends on how you want it. Even in
okay,
CSS,
but
you can also.
yes, because I thought in CSS we're told that even if you reference more than one, is
Yes.
the last one that the web page is going to reference.
No. What the mistake you are making is page is different from the CSS attribute. Take for instance, like if I have if I have my system is just unreasonable slow this evening. I don't know why. If I have, let's assume I have a p tag now, yeah, and I give it a, let's say, a color of red. Then and I have another p tag again, in the color of green. So now the p tag, now when the page is loaded, it's going to load the first p tag with the color red. Then it's now going to load that same p tag with color green now. So the p tag now is going to have a color green. Yeah, this is different from when you load a page. Yeah, so in case of this JavaScript now, there are a bunch of codes in this first script, another bunch of code in this second script, another bunch of code in this third one. Yeah, so there are different scripts. It's not that, okay, so now if you take for instance, now I have a function A inside the first script, and I have a function B inside the second script. So once the page loads, it depends on what you are picking from the page. Yeah, in terms of CSX now, you are referencing the same P. That's why it's neglected the first one. It will first apply the first one, then on going down, it will now say, okay, that same P now is having color green. That's why it's going to pick the second one. But this one now, we are talking about pages. Yeah, so what is inside that pages now depends on what you're trying to use it for.
Okay,
I hope
yes, I
you.
understand. Yes, I understand that. But what I'm actually asking is on this inline reference.
Yes. Inline reference of. Hello, can you hear me?
Style sheet and all those. On the HTML page, I think we were
Yes.
told that it goes to the last one to pick the style of the page from the last style sheet that was referenced, like in that order, it picks from the last one. So
Yes,
now
we
that
are.
we have more than 1, 2, 3 um JavaScript files now,
JavaScript, yes.
does JavaScript work in the way that we can use any one of these files, or it will go to the last one, which is this .phone index.jx, to use
Okay.
that one? I don't know if you understand my question.
Yeah, I do. it's going to, you know, JavaScript is different from CSS. Yeah, JavaScript now will go to every of the pages and go and pick what it needs.
Okay, that means that there must have been a way to reference what every
Okay.
HTML, say this nav bar, there must have been a way to reference it inside the polygon.js that it needs something from polygon. Then another one can need something from index.js. There must have been a way to connect them.
Exactly, because JavaScript now, take for instance CSS, now you are making reference to, let's say, color or the fonts or the, what's it called, or sizes. But in JavaScript, it's basically not like that. JavaScript is going to be dealing with memories, yeah, your system memory allocations. Take for instance, if I say let variable a equals to 2, and I say variable, and another script again, I say variable a equals to 3. Yeah, okay. I think I now understand what you're trying to.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I now get what you're trying to say now. So let's assume I have two JavaScript files, and I called I name it a variable. Let's say variable a equals to 3 in polygon.js, and inside index.js, and now said, oh, okay, a equals to 3. Yeah, I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yes, yeah, what I'm saying basically is that, is there, unlike maybe because CSS, what was explained last week just stuck to my brain, because what was said was that even if you have, if you reference to JavaScript, two CSS files, in the order in which it's meant to go, it goes to the
Yes.
last one, which is the index.js, and styles the whole page with reference to that one, even if you have polygon and then index. So
Okay.
now we have on this page, this HTML page,
yes.
now we have
Yes.
more than one reference of scripts here, aside from the last one you wrote, but we even have two, which is the polygon and index. Now my question is, in JavaScript, does it work that way too, that it references the last one, or maybe this one is even reverse the case where it references the first one, or
Yeah.
there's a way to pick things inside polygon on its own and then index on its own and reference it in the HTML tag or something? I don't know if you get one.
Okay. Yeah, I get now. It's going to like reference the last one. Yeah.
The last one.
Yes, but the thing is that JavaScript has been able to like solve issues like that. Yeah, so that you don't have to have a variable name that is the same. Then if you have a variable name that is the same, it's going to like override one for one, or tell you that, okay, this variable name has been declared somewhere. So that's when the lacks of constants came into JavaScript. When we get there, you understand more.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So let's just go with polygon.js, which is this. So the first thing we are going to be talking about is comment. So comment, I think I've discussed comment when we did HTML. Comment is just to like make your code readable. This is my first JavaScript function. You can just comment it out. So this is a single line comment. Yeah.
I'm sorry, please, I want to ask a question.
Okay, yeah.
Please, the console, and to my own understanding, if I'm right, is used to inspect errors, right? To check on like how the functionalities
The
are
output.
working.
Yes.
The output, rather. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah. So the first one is comment. So this is single line comment. You can also do multiple line comment. Let's multi comment. And if I should backslash aesthetic, So this is going to like this is a multi-line comment. So now if I have, let's say I have variable a equals to 3. So it's like the next person that is coming to come and read my code, I can just leave a comment and say, this is my first variable. And I comment it out. So once the person does come to my code base, the person will know that, okay, yeah, this is my first comment, or this is my first variable. So basically comments are meant for are just to give guides and instruction to the next person coming to your code base or working together with you. So the next we'll talk about data types. Data types.
So please, can I ask a
Sorry,
question?
can you come again on the comments, please?
Okay.
Okay.
My question is, for us to comment in JavaScript, we use two
Yes.
forward slash, what I can see on the screen, right?
Yes, for a single line comment.
I observed that you're using a shortcut. Please, what is the shortcut
Yes,
you're
okay,
using?
okay. I think I mentioned it. It's control. If you are using CTRL plus slash, can you see it?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I can see
that's
now.
so this single line comment, single line comment. Then for multiple line is this. Then somebody asks the comment. This you just write one to write. Then you can use this control plus slash, or you just put 2 forward slash on it. So it's going to comment out the what's it called, the statement or anything. Then next is going to be data types. So in JavaScript we have basically 7 data types. We have undefined. We have null. We have Boolean. We have Boolean. We have string. We have symbol. We have number. And then object. So now for undefined, these are just data types that you'll be seeing most of the time. I think the one you won't see frequently is symbol. Basically, you won't really much see symbol. I can't even remember when last I used it. So undefined, when you say something is not defined, take for instance now, I want to sorry, let me disable this extension for now.
Hello, please, I have a question.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, I realized that you have a whole lot of HTML files opened.
Okay, I'm not using them. They are just the last what was it called? For the last class, I'm not using them.
Okay, but actually one can have different files, HTML
Yes,
files in
yes,
same
yes, yes,
folder.
yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. So undefined. So when something is undefined, like you are trying to call something that is not defined. Take for instance now, I said I want to call variable b, and it's not defined. Yeah, let me comment this out. I try to console.log. Let me say b. I want to console.log web3 ladies with b. So if I should check my console now, Can we see?
Sorry, your screen is not really, the words are not sharp. I don't know. It's
Can you see
very,
it now? It's
it's
dull.
blurry.
Is
It's
anybody
blurry, like
experiencing it?
You can
sharp. I don't
zoom
know.
in, like pinch your screen to zoom in.
Zoomed in, still the same
Is,
thing. Not the
is
words are
everybody
not sharp.
is everybody having the same issue?
No.
No.
Okay. Okay, I guess it's your screen then. Try and zoom in your screen. So so
I
can
think
we
she's
all see that?
using mobile phone. That's why.
Okay. So can we all see that on court reference error, B is not defined? Can we all see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So now it means that I'm trying to reference B and B is not defined. So that's undefined. But if I should do something like, I don't know this. Let's say, let's B equals to 20. If I save this now and go back to my console, we can see that Web3 and B equals to 20. So that means it's defined. But if it is not defined, it's going to return error that B is not defined. So that is undefined. Then null. So what null basically means is that it's defined, but it's not containing anything. Yeah, it's nothing for now. Yeah, take for instance, I can say, okay, yeah, I have a wallet. There's nothing inside the wallet, but I know later I'll put money inside the wallet. So that's basically, I can say let's sorry about the let's keyword. We'll get to that where we should get to declaration of variables. So I can say let's bucket equals to null. So if I should do console.log bucket. So most time that we use null is you want to like have a variable, but you don't know what that variable is going to be. So firstly you want to make that variable null, then later towards downline the code, you probably maybe okay, the variable is going to be a string, a number, or a boolean. Then you can now attach it to it. But for now, you don't really know what the value is going to be, so you just put it as null. It's defined, but it's null. Can we see? Oh, it's making this error is okay. You can see Web3 label is null. So yeah, so basically null is defined, but it contains nothing. There's nothing inside. We don't even know what is inside. Yeah. So, but later I can now say, okay, pocket is on line 22, pocket is null. So I can now say, okay, pocket equals to, let me say 2000. So now if I should move this guy down, say console.log. So now initially pocket was null. There's nothing inside. So I now take that pocket and insert 2000 naira in it. So if I should refresh now, see that we have 2000 naira inside pocket as a variable. So that's basically what null does. It contains nothing, it's defined, but it contains nothing for now because you don't know what the value of pocket is going to be. But downline the code, maybe you code an API. Sorry, please, if I'm using the word API, it means application programming interface. You will get to understand it later. I will talk more about it. So let's say you now make an API call and what is returned from the server is a string or a boolean or a number. So you can now say, okay, pocket is equals to this number, pocket is equals to this. But at the instance of creating it here, it is null. So you don't know what is going to be. That's why you make it null. So the next one is boolean. So I think we
Sorry,
should
Malik, I have a question.
okay.
My question is, why is the all the things we're doing on the JavaScript not showing on the page? It's only showing on the console. I don't know.
Yeah, JavaScript is for interactions. Yeah, as we discussed when we started the program, HTML is just for the text, for the elements, for the skeletal views. Yeah, CSS is for beautifying it, making it look fanciful. Yeah, then JavaScript is for interaction. Do you get the functionality is being done by JavaScript? Yes. So if somebody, okay, yeah. So JavaScript basically is for functionality. Take for instance now this button. I'm clicking this button and nothing is happening. So if I want something to happen on click of this button, it's JavaScript I will use. Yeah. So now basically JavaScript is for the functionality. So just for now we are still like sending everything we are doing to the console. That's why we are seeing it on the console. So when we start applying the functionality to buttons on the pages, we'll see it. So the next one is Boolean. So basically Boolean is either true or false. So Boolean we have true or false. So that is what Boolean is. So you can say let's color equals to true. So now anywhere I want to use color now is going to be true. So I can now say, okay, if color is true, then do something. If color is false, do something. So basically, Boolean is just true or false. Are you a student of this school? It's either yes or no. Yeah. Are you a student of this school? If it is yes, okay, that's true. If it is false, that's no. So basically, Boolean is true or false. Then we have string. We have string and say let name equals to name. So this is a string with two quotation mark or quotes rather, sorry, two quotes. So anything I write and you see it inside quotes, something like this is a string. Yeah, this is a string also. So if I do console.log name, I should be able to see window on the console. Yeah. So that about string is pretty straightforward. Then symbol, you only use symbol. Sim equals to, and just say new symbol.
Sorry, I didn't get that part of string. It was not clear.
Okay, yeah. To declare a string, you just put it into two quotes. Yeah, just two quotes. Or you can use double quotes, then put anything. This is a string.
What is it used for? Like, what can you?
Okay,
What is it
he
used for?
supposed to
Sorry.
do? Okay, yeah, that was what.
Okay, yeah, it's how would I put it? Strings are just like text. Yeah, you want to write a bunch of text, anything inside a what's it called? A string. Just basically text. Anything. So you might want to like display this name or use this name in the form. Like if you fill an input now, okay, yeah, the type of input that we use in yeah. So anything I type here now is basically string. Yeah. So text like this are strings. So don't worry, when we start writing functions, you see the use of it. So basically strings are just like text. That's it. But you see the use case.
Okay, so sorry, so numbers are not inclusive.
Yeah. You said?
Okay. I said numbers are not inclusive.
No, numbers are inclusive. If you put number, I can put number now, but this number now, JavaScript is not going to see it as a number. It's going to see it as a string
Okay.
because it's inside quotes. Anything that is inside code is number. Even if I put the keyword Boolean here now, we're going to see it as a string. If I write undefined here now, it's going to see it as a string because it's inside these quotes. Anywhere you see these opening quotes and closing quotes, it's basically a string, like a text. So anything you write in between doesn't matter. It's going to like JavaScript is going to interpret it as a string, except when we go down the line, you can convert it back to number. Take for instance now, I'm expecting a number here, but I'm seeing a string. Down the line, I can convert it to a number. Yeah, you can also the way JavaScript works sometimes is very funny. You might see one, yeah, and see it as a Boolean sometimes. Yeah, so we'll get there. We'll get there. The reason why JavaScript does things like that, we'll get there. So this is just a string. Then if I should console.log this now, we'll see everything that I've written there. If I do type of this is out of scope of what I'm supposed to say, but I just want to show you in type of name now. So this name that I've declared here in a string, I want to know the type. So JavaScript is going to tell me what it is. You see here, it's saying string. The reason do be that I put it in quotes. If I should remove the quotes now, if I should remove the quotes, it's going to throw an error because there are just a bunch of keys. Doesn't know which one to pick. Yeah. So if I should just clear this now and just give it, let's say 34. If I save, it will tell me type of name now to be a number because what I've declared here is a number. If I change this now to a Boolean, let's say true, and I put type of name, it's going to show me a Boolean. So JavaScript knows what is what. So anything I put in quotes, if I should put this in quotes now, it's going to change to string. Yeah. Then type of name now is a string because I already put it in quotes. So anything we have in quotes is the string. Then the next one is symbol. So
Sorry,
yeah,
Malik, one last question
okay.
on string.
Okay.
Is it written in double quote or single quote? Because you wrote it in double quote, it went through. You wrote it in single quote, it's doing the same too.
Yes, it's the same thing. Anyone you
Anyone
prefer is the
can
same.
work.
If I should format this page now, it might probably change it. Yeah, anyone will work. Yeah.
All
So
right.
anyone will work. It's the same thing. It's just preference, what you prefer. Yeah.
Sorry, Malik, I have a question. Like, sorry,
Okay.
when do we use this string? Because I'm still a bit confused as to what the string does or its function in the JavaScript.
Don't worry, you will see the use. It's basically for text, for you to just write text because variables are just like containers. You want to keep something inside them. So now instead of, let's say, Malik now, I want to fill a form now, and there are a lot of places I will have to like write my name Malik Mukhtar. So instead of like repeating myself, I can just save this my name inside this variable as a string. Then anywhere they ask me what's my name, I'll just tell them, okay, my name is, I'll just call this name. So to make reference to this name. Yeah. So but don't worry, you'll see the use case as we go down the line. Okay, yeah. So the next one is symbol. So basically symbol, you only use it. I can't even remember when last I used it myself, but then it's just for creating symbol. Maybe I will discuss it more when we go deep down this thing, but then you only use symbols. Yeah. So let's go to number. So number is just like string also. Let's age equals to 12. So now, so if you want to declare a number, you don't put quotes, you just write the number like that. So if I should do console.log page, yeah, it's going to show on the console 12. You can see it's going to show on the console. So this is how to declare a number. Yeah. So the use case of all this, we'll see it along the line as we are going. Then objects. So what's an object? Like, we all know anything we just touch and carry is an object, being it ball, box, anything. But object in JavaScript basically means a container. Yeah, a container. So that container now will have something inside it. Although an object can be empty. So if you want to, it is two curly braces. I have something like this. This is an object. So anytime you have an object, you want to have what we call key value pair. So what key value pair means is that you have a key, and that key will have a value. Yeah. Okay. If I say, okay, an object is a container. Yeah. So inside that container, we want to have something inside. That thing we will have inside must have a key and a value. Okay, I have a box now. So inside that box, let's say I have a crayon. What's the color of the crayon? Green. So now the key, we can say the key is going to be crayon. The value can be, let's say, green. So anytime you hear object, first thing that should come to your mind is key value pair. An object is always a key value pair, and we can have nested objects, but we'll discuss more about that. So basically, when you have an object, you want to have a key value pair in the objects. Let me example of objects in JavaScript. So that is that. Okay, this is an object. Okay, let me copy everything. We have a person. We have a person. We have a person that is an object. So inside this object now, we have the person's first name, we have the person's last name, age, and eye color. So the key value that I was saying the other time, this is the key. The first name is the key, and the John is the value. The last name is the key, and Doe is the value. The, what's it called? Age is the key, and 50 is the value. Eye color is the key, and blue is the value. So anytime you have an object like this, you always, first thing that should come to your mind is key value pair. And we'll also see the use of this as we go down the line. So do you have any question at this point?
You said key value pair. What?
Yes.
Which denotes pair? What?
No. That's the word pair is just like, okay, they work together, like PAIR.
Okay.
Like when you pair something together.
All right.
Key and value, key value. Yeah, instead of saying key and value, that's why I say key value pair. So they're always together. So you see first name, John. So in this case now, the first name is the key and the value is John. So this value now is a string. Yeah. So it can be anything. It can be a number also. I can say let me say Grace and say true. Yeah. I can say long hair. I can say false, but it can be anything. Which other one have? Okay, let's assume I don't know the person's state. I can say, okay, since I don't know the person's state, I want to make it null. Yeah. So it can be anything. So these are what's it called? Gender, male. It can be anything.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. So what I want to just confirm is that means uh, any of the data types, that's whether be it Boolean or number or string,
Yes.
can be an object. Can
Yeah, can
how
be
would I
inside,
say?
can be a value inside an object. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They are all data types. So basically, object is like a container that you have something inside. Yeah. So this person now is an object. It has its properties. So you can help. Can also another thing we can is the properties of the object. Yeah. So the properties of these persons are this key value pair that we have. First name equals to John, which is a string. Last name is equals to Do, which is a string. Age is equals to 50, which is a number. Eye color is blue, which is a string. Color is true, which is a boolean. Long hair is false, which is a boolean. State is null, which is type null. Gender, we can say undefined. We don't know his gender. It's not defined. We don't know anything about the person's gender. Yeah. So this is object. So that is that about that. The next one we'll be talking about is how to declare variable. Ways to declare variables. So yeah.
Malik, sorry to draw you back, please. I noticed you did not include the console.log after the object declaration. Is there
Oh,
a difference between for others
no,
and
no,
for
no,
this
no.
one?
No. We
Okay.
can put it console.log. It's just for us to see what we are. Console.log. This is person property. Yeah. Command. Then what's the person? So what are we expecting on the console? We are expecting to see everything we have here. Where is our console? Reference. Green is not defined. You can see. So this green is not defined. Where is it? Okay. So our console now, this is not defined. Let me comment it out. Another thing, let me initiate the error again. Another thing is for debugging. Yeah, when you have error in your code. So basically what the system did is that when it gets to this line, there's an error in it so that it stopped. So now we'll go to the place. You see, green is not defined, polygon. So it's coming from which file? Polygon.js line 43. So it's here also you can. So when you have an error like this now, let me inspect this. I want to see if I will see an error on their page. Yeah. So now, if you can see, if they are to give me their code base now, this Web3 schools now, they should give me their code base now, and this error is coming now. I'll know that okay, this error is coming from line 107. Yeah, and probably is an API call or something. Yeah. So now from our own now, it's not telling us that green is not defined. Polygon.js. So we know that okay, I don't have to go and check index.js because that's not where my error is coming from. My error is coming from polygon.js. Oh, polygon.js. Oh, what line? Line 43. Then I'll just go to line 43. Oh, then I can see that okay, yeah, green is actually not defined. I comment it out or I remove it. Then I'll just save, go back to my code base, and voila, this is it. So now we can see the object here now. Age. It's now rearranged for us alphabetical order. Age, color, eye color, first name, gender, last name, long name. So let's assume I don't want to console log everything. I just want to console log a particular one I can do. But then we'll still talk about that when we when we want to talk more about objects, ways that you can have access to these internal properties. So this person now, I can do person dot. Sorry, my system is just slow. Probably we need to restart it. If I say person dot first name. So now on the console now, I will only see the person's first name because that's what I want. This is person property. This is the first name I selected. And if I say, okay, is the person's age I want, I can have access to age also. As a person dot age, and it's going to give me the person's age, which is 50. But when we get to objects, we'll talk more about that. So the next one is ways to declare variable. There are three ways to declare variable. We have var, let, and const. So initially, when JavaScript started, it was basically var, yeah, until in recent times. So if you read the introduction to JavaScript, you'll see a lot of things like this. So before, they were like declaring, if you want to declare a variable, you say variable var equals to, let's say, name equals Malik. But then this is one way. Then the second way is let name 2 equals to var. Then the third way is const. I will explain what the differences are. Name 3 equals to school. Yeah. So these are three different ways. Let me use name 1. These are three different ways to declare a variable. Yeah. But there are limitations to var. If you there's what we call ES3 now, that's the versioning of JavaScript, basically the new way of writing JavaScript. When you read the introduction, you will pretty much see a lot of things there. So var, the thing is that for var, you can have access to this name 1 now. You can have access to it anywhere in the code base. But there are sometimes that you don't want that to happen in your code base. Like you declare a name 1 somewhere and you just want to use it in that particular place, in that scope. So you don't want everybody to have access to it. Yeah. But then the ecosystem discovered that, okay, that is not a good practice. That's when let and const now came in. So you still see code base that will use var, but a lot of people have stopped using var. It's just let and const. So now, let and const now, when you say let, so it means that, okay, this now, you might still change the value. Yeah. So you say let name equals to this, let age equals to this. You might still change the value, but for const, it means constant. Like there are things that don't really change, like pi now 3.142, it doesn't really change. Like the gravity on health here is, I think, 9.81. So values like that, you want to use const for them. Take for instance now VAT on the value added tax that will pay is, I think, 7.5 or so. So yeah, so now these values now, they don't really change much. Yeah. So now if you want to like use them in your code, you want to make it a constant so that if anybody wants to come and change the value, like, okay, the value has been declared somewhere and it has been given a value 7.5, so you can't change it. Yeah. But for let now, let's assume your age this year is 11, your age next year is going to be 12. Yeah. So you don't want to make that a constant because every year it increases. Yeah. So you can use let there. So another not issue per se, just like another way you can always use this, what we call global scope and local scope. Let me check the distance if I have anything like that here. Okay, let me just give a a little scope about it. So now, like if you declare a variable to be global scope, yeah, maybe you put it at the top and declare it there. Every function, yeah, will have access to that this thing. But if you define it inside a function, it becomes a local scope. So anything outside that function will not have access to that value. When we get to function, you understand what I'm trying to say. Yeah, JavaScript might be a little bit overwhelming at this stage, but then it's a gradual process. As we are going along, you get how it works. So this is the three way of declaring a variable. You can either use let, var, or const. So if you know that the value is not going to change anytime soon, or it's not even going to change at all, use const, so that if you are about changing the value now, it will throw an error. Let me come here now and say vat equals to 8. Console.log. It should throw an error. Assignment to constant variable at polygon 72. So now it's trying to tell me that, okay, VAT has already been assigned before. You can't reassign it again. It's a constant. This value must stay. But if I should say, okay, name 3, name 2 now. Name 2 now equals to 10. It's going to accept it. So if I should console.log name 2 now, not try an error. Yeah. I see Jane here. That's because I used let. I can say, okay, let this equals to, let y equals to 2, let y equals to 3, and down the line I can keep changing the value. But for constant, it must just be constant. It must be constant. You can't change the value. Anytime you want to change the value, it's going to try and error and be like, okay, you can't reassign this thing. And there are places that things like this are very useful. That's okay, you've gotten a particular value and you stored it in a constant. You don't want that value to change again. So you use the word const. So that is that about that. So that we don't go out of what we're supposed to
Malika, I have a
be.
question.
Yeah, what's the question?
Please, I have a question.
So,
I wanted to ask
you
that.
used
Okay, please, one person at a time. Okay, Monyolua, you can go on.
Okay, thank you. And I said, what's now the actual difference between var and let? Because it seems that the variables can be changed in the two of them.
Yes. You know, var, if you declare it var, you have access to it everywhere. Like by the time we get to function now, maybe I will cite an example of that. If you declare a var at the top, you have it inside the function, outside the function, everywhere. But there are some variable that you don't want that to happen to. Yeah, you just want to say, okay, this function now, I've declared this variable let. If you want to call it from outside, you should not be able to have access to it. You understand? But if you declare that variable with var, you will have access to it inside your code base everywhere. You understand?
Yes,
When I
okay.
get to function, just remind me so that I will cite an example.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right,
Who's the
so
next
I
person? Okay,
think
Abimbola.
yes, that was the question I wanted to ask too. And the second question is for the const, which is always constant everywhere.
Yes.
What if you go to the value of the const and change it there? Will
Yeah.
it change, or is it one
Yeah,
entry thing forever?
it's going to change. It's going to change. It can be anything because that's the place you are initializing it. It can be true, it can be anything. Because that's the first time you are initializing it. It is when you want to try changing it again that it won't allow you to change it. Because it's going to tell you that, okay, you've already assigned a value to this constant already. So, but the initial value can be anything.
Okay, when you want to try to change it, that you mean is duplicating it and then giving it another thing.
Another value, exactly.
Right.
So it must always be a constant.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So let me check here. I don't want us to go. Okay. So we've discussed variable, then we've discussed naming convention. Okay, no, we've not discussed naming convention, we just discussed variable. So let's talk about naming convention. That person should please, okay. So let's discuss naming convention. So we have different ways in which we can name variable. Naming variable naming convention. So we have Camel Case. I will explain. I'll explain everything. We have Pascal case. We have snake case. And we have kebab. So yeah, let's start with the first one. So Camel Case is the first letter is going to be small letter of the first word, then the subsequent words will now be capital letter. I don't know if you understand. Okay, let's assume I want to name a variable now, Samsung. I say so the first Sam, then song goes to school, equals to 30. So this is a variable. Samsung goes to school. So the first word is going to be small letter, starting with small letter. Then the subsequent words, depending on how you want it to be, like, you can decide to like write everything small letter. It won't affect your code. But then the reason why there is naming convention is because of readability. Like the person that is reading your code, most time I write my code in such a way that is very descriptive. If I want to like write a function now, and what the function does is let's say fetch list of name. So the way the name is that fetch name, or I can say fetch name API. Like you just want to make it descriptive enough that the person that is coming will not really stress his or herself to know that okay, this is what this person is trying to achieve with this function. So now Camel Case is like this. The first word is going to start with small letter, then the subsequent words is going to be capital letter. That's Camel Case. Then Pascal Case is the first letter of every word is going to start with capital, like let's Malik naming convention equals to string school. I want to see that Malik started with M, naming should start with capital M also, then convention capital M. So this is Pascal Case. So you can write it like this also. JavaScript is going to accept this. Then we have snake case. The third one is snake case. So snake case now does that all the words are going to be in small letter, but with underscore. Malik naming convention.
Please, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Please, what's the effect of all this capitalization of
It
the letters?
it has no effect on your code. Nothing. It's just for readability.
Okay.
Yeah, just for readability, so that
So
if
for
I
whoever
come
that
now
wants to inspect your
to
code or your
read
work.
exactly, take for instance, now let me open a code base. I think I worked on this today. You can see. You see what this person used: COMV input, conversion input, send message. These are naming convention. There's a place I called an API. You see filtered message. So if the person should just see const filtered message, the person will be like, okay, chat messages, filtered message. Okay, I probably have a message that is coming from chat, then I filtered it. Yeah. So this naming convention will just give the fetch messages. Yeah. So this is why I call the API to fetch the messages. Yeah. Loading, set loading, fresh, set fresh, chat message, set chat message. So these are the things that will just for descriptive purposes, nothing more. Just to say that, okay, the naming convention is okay. It's the person that is like going to work on the project with you will be able to like read your code base, because there are a lot of times that you write codes, yeah, you know the flow, everything, and you come back to that code after like a week or two and you are lost, like you don't even understand anything again. Yeah, so it's normal, but if you make all these things very descriptive, yeah, you can quickly remember, okay, this is what I was trying to achieve here, this is what I was trying to achieve here, and you can always kickstart from there. Yeah, hope you got that. So the last one is kebab case. So the difference between
Sorry, please excuse me.
yeah, you can go on your, this thing is echoing. If you join with two device, you can mute one. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, I'll continue. So the last one is a kebab. So what's the difference is just that instead of underscore, we use dash. So this is kebab naming convention. I don't know why my VS Code is showing, it's not seeing it, but this is how you do that. So my probably is not even in use again. My VS Code is seeing it as error. So, but this is how you use kebab naming convention. So after that, let's go to arithmetic in JavaScript. So
Sorry,
so
excuse me,
far,
Mama.
yeah.
Yeah, you said the way to use kebab is to put dash instead of
Yes.
underscore. Dash with
Yes.
small letters still.
Not really. You can mix it with small letter or big letter. My VS Code is even throwing error on it. Me, I don't use that. I can't even, I don't use it actually. But I think you can mix it up. Kebab naming
Okay.
convention. I don't know if it's still in use. Kebab naming. Yeah, you can see. So probably it's not even in use again. So
Alright.
so okay, the last thing that we'll be discussing for today is arithmetic in JavaScript, so that it won't become too overwhelming. Then tomorrow we continue with concatenation and array. So so far are we good?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We are trying to sink it in.
Don't worry. After the class, you can just rewatch the video again, and I'm very sure it's going to stay in. JavaScript is actually interesting and cool. Okay, yeah. So arithmetics in JavaScript, we have addition, we have no, we have multiplication, we also have division. What's the last one? Minus, right? Addition, multiplication, subtraction.
Subtraction.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Then we have modulus. It's called reminder. Reminder. So let's start with addition. So if you want to add numbers in JavaScript, we use the plus sign. We use the asterisk sign. And division, we use this. Subtraction, we use dash. Reminder, we use percentage. So I will discuss all now. Okay, so for addition is let's say I want to do let's A equals to 10. 1,000. Let B equals to 3,000. So I can say let C equals to A plus B. By console.log answer. So now if I console.log answer and see, we should have 1,000 plus 3,000 on the console. So identifier, we have an error somewhere, line 96. So let's go to line 96. Line 96, let A equals to, or have I used A before? Yeah, so now I used A here. Ideally, it's supposed to even override it, but because what's it called? I use var here and let on the other side. So if I should change this to let now, the error should clear. So initially it's going to cannot declare, okay, scope level. And this is what I wanted to talk about. But then when we get there. But that's the issue of scope and the global. So now A plus B now is going to be 4,000. This is our answer. That is how to do addition in JavaScript. But then you can also do addition on string also, but it's not actually addition. It's like adding two strings together. It is called concatenation. I think okay. It's part of what we are going to discuss tomorrow. So let me not jump one step at a time. Okay, concatenation. Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow. So no big deal. So now this is how to add two numbers. I can still say C here. After getting the answer to C, I can say plus 20. It's going to give me 4,020. So this is how to do addition in JavaScript. Let's say multiplication. And say console.log. Let's come down here. Oh, just want to copy this. A multiply by B. Change this to D. I change this to D. E. So now we have 1,000 times 3,000. I think that should be 3 million. Yeah. So this is this. 1,000 times 3,000, that's 3 million. And for division is still the same thing, just with different symbol. So E equals to A divided by, no, let's see, this is going to be a fraction. Also dot log E. Yeah, see 0.33333. So there are also other methods that we can use to like truncate some part of the trees at the back of the answer, but then when we get there, we'll also discuss about those ones. So let's take it one step at a time. Then subtraction. Let's say,
Sorry, yeah, I think it types substitution.
oh, sorry, I was actually using autocomplete. It's AI that is auto correcting its subtraction. Okay, yeah. So if I console.log f here, so I should have 2,000 here. 2,000 minus 1,000. So that is that for subtraction. Then reminder. So reminder basically means when you divide a number by a number, the remainder is what you want to get. So this also is it is called modulus, and it's very useful. Modulus. It's very useful when you want to check if a number is even on odd, even or odd number. Take for instance now, we have odd number like 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and we have even numbers like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So let's assume we now have a game that generates random number, and we want to check if that random number is an even number or an odd number. How do we do that? So what we can do is we take that number, yeah, we now divide it by 2. Yeah, if the number has a remainder, it means that number is an odd number. If that number has no remainder, it means that number is an even number. Take for instance now, the figure that is generated is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Yeah, without no remainder. So that number now is an even number. But if, assuming the number is 9, and you say, okay, 9 divided by 2, yeah, the answer that is going to give you is going to be 4 remainder 1. Yeah. So like that, we are going to know that number is an odd number. So it has its own useful case. So what we are going to do is let's remainder. So let me say I have let's Malik number equals to 9. Yeah. So now if I say console.log answer to reminder. So if I say console.log Malik number, then this sign and 2. So now what are we expecting here now? So we are expecting that it's going to carry this 9, put it here, then check the remainder if you divide it by 2. So let's see what we are going to have on the console. So we have 1. So now it carried 9 divided it by 2. The answer is going to be 4.5, ideally in fraction way. But then we are trying to check a remainder. Does it have a remainder? 2 divided by 9 is going to be 4, remainder 1. So if I should change this to 3 now, the answer we are going to have is going to be different, because when you divide 9 by 3, it's complete. You have 0 because 9 divided by 3 is 3. There's no remainder. So how do you know that a number is an odd number or even number? So you can just use remainder. And or another use case might be okay, let's say you have 5 students in your class, and let's say they had a visitor and the person gave them 2,000 naira. Yeah, so now you want to like share 2,000 naira within let's say 7 people. I want it to be a number that will be okay. Let me just put random number, a number that there will always be a reminder. Yeah, so now you want to like share this number within, let's say, 356 people. Yeah, so after sharing this, there should be a reminder. So let's check now. 68. So now that means we'll be able to like remove 356 inside this number now in multiple times. Then the remainder now will now be 63. You can also, okay, the remaining 68 naira that is remaining, probably we'll just use it and buy sweets, or we'll give it to another person. Yeah, so it has its own use case also. So that is that about reminder. So let me just let me demonstrate a little game here. Okay. Let's web ladies equals to a random number. Okay, is it number dot random? Okay, yeah, dot random. I'm not changing it to string. So I call a random number, although random is going to be in what is it called? Let me console log it. It's going to be in decimal form. Yeah, so let's say it's going to be in decimal form. You can see the 3 ladies. Random is not the number dot random. Okay, sorry, math dot random, not number dot random. So we have this. So let me now multiply it by let's say that the number is going to, yeah. So you can see it's 7, 8. So anytime I refresh now, it's going to generate another random number. So math.random is used for generating random number. Then I want to do .floor so that it becomes.
Sorry, Malika, I did not get this last one you just did.
No. I'm just trying to like give an example. Don't worry, I will explain it. Let me finish.
Okay, you're just explaining different things at the time, right?
Yes. I just want to cite an example of it. Math.floor. Okay, so it's now an whole number. Yeah. So what I want to just do is, so this now, let me divide it by number. How many are we in the class? 28. I'm sorry, it's almost time. We'll soon go now. We are 28. Then modulus of 28. So quick explanation. So what I did here is math.random. It's a random, it's a math method that generates a random number from 0 to 1. That's in between 0 and 1. 0.1, 0.2, 0.7, 0.6, 0.549, if 0. anything. Then I now multiply it by, I think, 1 billion or so that we can have a larger number. Then I now did math.floor. So it's going to like round it down for me. Yeah, so that value now is what I now put here now to just test this remainder, this thing. So now any value that we get from this Web3 ladies variable, we want to do divide it by 28 and get the remainder. So let's go. Let me refresh. You can see Web3. So the answer is 8. We have 8. If I should refresh it again, it's just a little game. It's nothing. So you can see it has changed to 27. So it's generating the number randomly and it has changed to 15. So basically what this means is that I created a random number between 0 to 1, multiply it by this large number, then round it down, then use it to do this modulus example. Yeah. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll continue with concatenation, array, nested array, and array methods. So I will talk to the coordinators to make this video available as soon as possible, and I will drop this on the Slack group for anybody that wants to go through it again. So if you have any question, let's wrap it up. We have just less than 15 minutes.
I want to ask. So,
yeah, I can hear you.
last
Go on,
thing
please.
you did, Steve, I still don't understand the last thing you did.
Okay, the last thing,
I
don't
know you
worry
said you're
about.
just trying to do.
Yes,
No.
don't worry about these are methods that you come and get to. Okay, let me put it in Pseudo Coding. I generated a random number between 0 and 1 by using this. So anytime you use this math.random, yeah, it's a math method that generates a random number between 0 and 1. Yeah. So it's going to be anytime you do math.random, going to generate a random number for you. You can see the numbers will keep changing. Can you see it?
Okay.
See the numbers, it keeps changing, but it's not going to be it's not going to be less than 0, and it's not going to be more than 1. So these are random numbers. Yeah. So to make it a bigger number now, I now multiplied it by this large number. Multiply it by this large number. Yeah, just to get a bigger number so that it will be enough for all of us to share. Since Nigerian politicians are stealing our money, so we want to collect our own share too. So let me make it bigger. So I multiply by this number. Yeah, so that is the money. So this math.floor now is like what do we call it in mathematics? When you round off, I think from 4 downward is going to be rounded off to 0. Then from 4 upward is going to be rounded off to 1. Yeah, so that I won't have this decimal. I don't want to use the decimal places. You get the gist?
Yes.
I want to remove all these decimals so that I don't have to, assuming if I should multiply, I might have blah, 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 0.272. So I want to just remove that. Then after that, then the value, and now do the remainder of it by 28. Yeah, so that's why you see that we are having different value. Anytime we refresh, we have another value, 6. So you see 22. So that's basically That's basically what I did. Multiply, then find the remainder. Hope you understand, but it's nothing much.
Yes, I do.
When we get
Yes.
deeper into JavaScript, you understand more about it. Yeah. So any other question? You have less than 10 minutes.
Question, sir.
Okay, go on, please.
Yes, I think maybe I missed it when you're talking about it, but that console.log, when you open your bracket, those words you put there in some place, you put like three ladies, answer, reminder. Is there any really particular purpose for those words? Or can it just be
Yeah.
any
Okay,
random
yeah.
word?
Yeah, it can be any random words. The reason why we do that is for you to be able to track what is on the console. Take for instance now, you can see I have a lot of things on the console. How do I know the particular one I'm looking for? So you just have to like give it a mark, something, so that you can say, okay, this is the one. Take for instance now, I want to console.log this answer now. You see here, okay, take for instance now, I have answer this, answer this, answer this. How do I want to differentiate the particular one I want? So you just put something that is going to be unique. By the time you want to check the console now, you know, say, okay, this particular one, you can see, just to differentiate the everything you have on your console. Because sometimes you have a lot of outputs in your console. You don't know what which one is which, so you just have to like differentiate them with any string. Yeah. So most
Okay,
times,
thank you very much.
if I want to debug, I'll just put my name there, yeah, or anything, so that I'll know that okay, this is what I'm. But most time you want to like make it descriptive. Okay, answer to first C. Yeah, something like that, so that you know what you are doing. Okay.
But
Yeah.
I thought on the console, there is the line of code is actually reflecting. So
The
why is
line.
it not as if
Yeah. So you can use that also if you feel that okay, that one is okay. So it's all the same. It's all for debugging. Since the lines are showing, yeah, fine. You can also go with that. But me, I don't really pay attention to the line. I just look at the consoles. That's a nice one. Yeah. So any
okay?
other question?
Another question I wanted to ask earlier. While you're on variable naming convention, I
Yes.
see there was no space on the words. Like you
Yes.
the words
Yeah.
together.
There's no space. You don't put space.
Why?
That's what's it called? That's the way JavaScript is written. I don't think there's any programming language that puts space in between naming convention. I don't think so. But I don't know. But I don't think so. I don't think if there's anyone. They are all squished together. That's why we have the types: Camel Case, Pascal Case, Snake Case, so that you'll be able to read it. Yeah, there's no space.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other question?
Sorry, Malik, I didn't. The person that asked the previous question, before this last one, I didn't get what the explanation was
Okay, yeah,
about something on the okay.
the person asked about console, yeah. So she said, the text that I'm writing here, must I be specific? And I said, no, you can put anything, just make it descriptive so that you know what and what's the console, where the what's it called, the console is coming from. Yeah. And she now said, since what's it called, the lines, the consoles are is pointing to a particular line on the JavaScript file. So I was like, okay, yeah, you can also use this also. So if I don't take for instance now this, let me go to line 57. Line 57, we have a console there. So this is line 57. So if I don't put this now, I probably will be feel like, okay, where is this coming from? But this now, so I can just check line 57. Polygon.gz line 57. So I can know that, okay, yeah, it's coming from here. But me as a person, I prefer putting text there. So it's always more descriptive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think our time is up. So let me quickly drop this on the group. Desktop.
So we can go, I guess.
Yes, we can go. I will end the meeting now. All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow. I hope they will upload this on time so you can just go through it. Yeah. But then if not, by the time we add that of tomorrow, it's going to become more clearer, and by Thursday, Friday, we should have uploaded it. All right. Good
Yes,
night, everyone.
please beg the admin to
Thank you.
All right.
upload the
Yeah.
video on time, please.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'll talk to them so that they can upload
Thank
it on time. All right.
all right,
Bye-bye.
thank
Have a
you. Bye.
lovely
All
night.
right. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good
Bye.
night.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night. Thank you.